It has become a Memorial Day weekend tradition. The Pennzoil World of Outlaws on the dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. And this evening is the first of 2 nights of coverage on TNN Sports. The Chip Thunder Outlaws Showdown, presented by Lance Snacks. The eyes of the racing world are on the Queen City of the Carolinas. That is the Lowe's Motor Speedway, the 1.5-mile track across Highway 29. The NASCAR Busch Series runs there tomorrow. The Winston Cup cars run the Coca-Cola 600 on Sunday. But on this side of Highway 29, we've got our own hot racing, and it is the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. Hi, everybody. Eli Gold, Brad Doty, glad you're able to join us for year number 2 of racing here at the dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Last year, it was all Mark Kinzer. Why does one guy just take to a racetrack the way Mark Kinzer did a year ago?
Well, some will say it's the Mopar engine, some will say it's Carl Kinzer, but drivers will tell you they just like certain racetrack. Mark Kinzer likes this racetrack.
And of course, talking with Mark earlier today, he said the Mopar colors are set to go. When this night is over, don't be surprised, he said, if you're talking about me with the win.
I like coming to Charlotte because it is wide. You can use all your horsepower, and that fits my style of driving.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's definitely a Mark Kinzer track. It might be. I don't know. Could be a Jeff Shepard track, too. I don't know.
If it came down to it, I don't know. I think I could outrace him.
I'm going to outsmart Carl Kinzer this time. That's the key. You got to outsmart Carl Kinzer in this pit area. Once you can do that, you can beat him on the racetrack.
We beat him a few times this year, but they've gotten on a streak there and got going pretty good. And you know, we just got to put our game together tonight and try and get it done.
Mark's not invincible. We got to take his name off the scoreboard one day or another, you know, so why not start tonight?
Now, I don't know what it's like where you live. Where I come from, those are fighting words.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Randy Hennigan's got his work cut out for him to outsmart Carl Kinzer tonight.
I bet so. Now, folks, when we last left you while it was raining in Williams Grove a weekend ago, we were talking about this guy having won and that guy having won. We didn't add Sammy Swindell to that list because at the time, Sammy hadn't yet won in the 2001 racing season. That has changed.
He won Hagerstown. His best finish was a 3rd. He struggled to run the top 10 a lot of times, so that win was very important to him and his team.
And when you sit down and talk with Sammy Swindell here at the racetrack, he said there were some very definite reasons why he wasn't a winner until last weekend.
Well, I think we were in the right direction before. Just some of the equipment that we had to use, you know, just wasn't quite up to what some of the other guys was running at that time. And the people have made some changes and kind of stepped up a little bit. So now we're a little more equal ground.
Now let me translate for you. I think what he said was the Goodyears are finally running right alongside the Hoosiers. That's what was hidden in that message.
I think that is what he was saying. We know the Hoosiers have dominated all year, but Goodyears have won the last 3 races. Dale Blaney won at Granite City, Illinois on an old style, but we saw Donnie Schatz win Williams Grove and Sammy win Hagerstown on a new Goodyear, so maybe they're back.
Now, with the racing that's taken place this week, let's check out the standings for you. Still very, very tight. Only 3 points separating the top 2.
No matter what Mark does, he can't shake Danny Lasowski there in second. Danny's been very consistent, and that's what it's going to take to win this championship.
And to win the championship, you like to win those individual races. And with the rainbow showing across the sky of the Charlotte, North Carolina area, let's bring you up to speed again for those of you who are new to the racing world as to how you advance through tonight's action. The only way to get credit for the win in the Chip Thunder Outlaws Showdown is to advance to and win the A-Main. There's Delansky and Schatz, Paulus and Myers. Basically, we've got a good, solid 39-car field here tonight, Brad.
Yeah, not a lot of cars, but I mean, 39 is a good show, and every car that's here is a good, fast race car.
Look at the track conditions. We've had some rain here today. The drivers say it's heavy, it's greasy. How long before this gets worked in?
Well, they worked on this track all week, tore it up, watered it, really had it running, and then got this rain. It was a little greasy early, then after qualifying it came in, it was really looking good, and got that little bit of rain again, so it looks good right now. They might have to be careful around the top. It might be kind of greasy up there.
This is the 10th night of racing in Charlotte for the World of Outlaws, dating back to 1987 when they ran the Metrolina Speedway and returned there a few times since. But now at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, our first heat is underway. And very quickly, we've got problems for Paulus as Brian tags the wall, and we've got the caution flag flying for the first yellow of the evening. Brian Paulus just went wide and found the wall and nowhere to go. So we had a good number of guys jump at the very beginning. Donnie Schatz had a very good jump from row number 2, but it was Paulus who posted his best finish of the year in the Fort Worth preliminary. And watch the outside.
Yeah, right there's Paulus. He just got in a little bit sticky up there. I thought it might be greasy. It's actually a little sticky. He bicycled, bounced around a little bit, and just got in the wall. Laid it over pretty hard. I'm sure the front axle's bent.
There you see young Brian, and he is okay, obviously, but the same cannot be said for his racer. Lots of problems with that Maxim.
Hi, this is Jill Arrington, returning your call.
Tell me, Jill, where all am I going to see you this year?
We're going to be at all your games. We travel coast to coast. I'll see you in Milwaukee, New Jersey. How about San Jose, Phoenix? And I'll head back to the East Coast and cover Tampa. We've got Florida. We'll be up in Raleigh, Orlando. And we have to go up north to our New York team and over to Detroit, Chicago, Grand Rapids, up to Toronto. You know, we're international now, so I'll be heading up north.
Go.
All across the country. We're everywhere. Every city, all the time. Every weekend, we'll be there for you.
You can adjust firmness on both sides of the bed at the touch of a button. Unlike metal coils that can create pressure points and water beds that can bend your spine, Select Comfort contours to your body. So, find out why over 1 million Americans, including me, are waking up to Select Comfort. Call for your free catalog and video today.
To get all the exciting details on this new and better way to sleep on air, including your free Select Comfort Airbed catalog and free sleep video, call toll-free 1-800-730-5775.
TNN Sports coverage of the Chip Thunder Outlaw Showdown, presented by Lance Snacks, is being brought to you by Mopar. Parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. And by Luxair, setting the performance standard in heating and air conditioning. As per usual, a huge crowd here at the dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway in Charlotte. Meanwhile, in the pit area, let's catch up with Brian Paulus after that spin. Dave Argabright is with him, the associate editor of Open Wheel magazine.
Brian, what happened? You're shaking your neck a little bit. Tell us about it.
You know, the rain rolled in today, and they didn't have the track running yet, so, you know, the rain's good sometimes, you know, for the vegetables, but not tonight. Tonight it wrinkled up a little bit of them, so.
Can you repair and come back?
Yeah, it got the rear end, it got the front end, it got all the radius rods holding the front end, back end in together, got the wings. We got a lot of damage, but we can probably get it fixed up.
But you're okay?
Yeah, it was just a little baby roll.
Eli, he's okay, but some damage.
A little baby roll is something that happens to other guys. I don't know about you, but you're right. The vegetables there at Verdelli Farms, they got irrigated nicely today, but the racetrack took a grab of that race car.
Yeah, it sure did. And it's sticky, and what they call bicycle the car. It just grabbed so sticky that it picked the left side tires off the ground, and actually the hit into the wall was a lot harder than the rollover itself.
Now, obviously, that first lap never was completed, so this is a complete and total restart in the first of our 8-lap heat races. The O'Reilly heat races, the top 5 advance to the A-main. Green flag is in the air.
Very important for the winner, though. The winner of each heat race is to start the first 2 rows of the dash tonight, so everybody wants to win every race, but especially these heat races are really important. See Schatz making a charge around the 97 of Gressman. Schatz again fast tonight.
Billy Wilburn is the man who leads Donnie Schatz right there. Schatz won the preliminary main here last October, but there you see the interval between the top 2. It is 1.1 seconds from Wilburn back to Donnie Schatz. Now, Donnie Schatz had 3 top 4 finishes here last year, including that preliminary A feature win. So he, like Kinzer, is one of those who likes this racetrack.
Yeah, we talked about in the opener that Mark Kinzer liking this place and just feeling comfortable here. And obviously Donnie Schatz does, but Billy Wilburn's just checking out right now away from him. And Schatz is going to have to really pick up the pace. They're going to be scratching ahead, figuring out what they have to do to this race car to get a little. Oh, and the leader gets.
Billy Wilburn with all sorts of problems, but he hangs on to that race car. Billy, who works for Rusty Wallace on the NASCAR Winston Cup side of racing, member of that Miller Lite pit crew. Billy winning twice last year at Lancaster, South Carolina in his first ASCS season. He won also in Batesville, Arkansas. If you're not familiar, that's the American Sprint Car Series.
You can see the track starting to chunk out down in the middle of 3 and 4.
Meanwhile, there's a battle for the lead in the pass.
Yeah, Billy Wilburn, yeah, flat left rear tire. Look right there. I knew he was having a problem. He slowed considerably. And when he hit that rut down there, it probably peeled the left rear tire off the rim, and Schatz was able to just blast by.
So tough break for Billy Wilburn. Donnie Schatz, you've got to be there to take advantage. And as they come off the corner, the checkered flag flies. So a tough break for Billy Wilburn, but the flat tire right there, it says the whole story for that car.
When, as I said before, the winner of this gets into the dash, and he had that thing won, but you can see the tire right there flat. That's just really, he's doing a good job just hanging on to that thing. You could see it clear off the rim as he came through that corner.
And there's the power move to the outside by Donnie Schatz to grab the lead. So Schatz, Wilburn, Greshman, Delansky, and Myers, the unofficial order of finish as far as the top 5 are concerned, having advanced to the A main. Again, the top 5 in each of our 4 O'Reilly heats will advance automatically.
I'm sure Billy's very disappointed at putting him out of the dash, but folks, could you imagine running a car like that over 100 miles an hour with the tire clear off the rim? He did an excellent job controlling that race car.
And Billy Wilburn, taking a look at some of the numbers, qualified 13th overall today as the king of the Outlaws is set to go racing. We've got a whole bunch of Kinzers. His son Craig is here this weekend also. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
Hey America, what's your vice?
Probably my biggest vice would be my motorcycle.
Sex chat rooms. You don't want to know, you're a man.
You know, the thought of someone watching just does it for me. The thrill.
Gotta be gambling.
Of knowing.
Martinis.
That I might get caught.
It's gotta be a good gin.
Total exhibitionist.
Is lying a vice?
Watch the Miami Vice Memorial Day Marathon, Monday, May 28th, all day on TNN.
What? On right now.
Welcome back. The dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, 4/10 of a mile around, and we are just across the street from the big track where this weekend Billy Wilburn will be working on Rusty Wallace's car, but Bobby Gerald, he has some work to do in his own car right now.
Yes, he does. He'll be changing left front tires over at the Winston Cup race, the 600 on Sunday, but today it's the left rear tire that's biting your sprint car. You did a nice job of hanging on.
Yeah, I didn't really know what was wrong. I knew that I saw my nose wing fly up, and I said, oh my goodness, this is not good. I says, and then the car got terribly loose. But aside from all that, we ran over some rough holes, knocked the left rear off the wheel, and I got to thank my sponsors, Mead Paper Company, Heinz Brothers, and Fast Track Driving School. Andy Hillenberg helped me out with this motor tonight, and I'm telling you, this is the difference between me making it and not making it. That's been our problem all along, and it's just been great. And thanks a lot.
Billy Wilburn looking good in the 0.
The best he's run in quite a while. Now the second heat from the O'Reilly Auto Parts folks who sponsor the heat races all season long. Butch Schrader, Dale Blaney, Steve Kinzer is here. Joey Saldana. Pick out your favorites, see whether they're in this field. Ben Basinger bringing up the rear on the number 99. And yes, notice we said Schrader on the pronunciation there. The folks up home will say it's Schroeder, but the driver himself pronounces it Schrader. Green flag is in the air from Glenn Jarman, the flagman here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. And caution is very quickly being displayed again.
Yeah, they weren't gonna let that one go. I think Dale Blaney didn't like the way the 8H pulled ahead just a little bit.
That was old Butch Schrader.
Yep. And now they're moving him back a row. They said he jumped the start, and Blaney did the smart thing, just staying out of the throttle. And they brought that one back. They're supposed to be side by side when you come to the white line out of turn 4.
That black 8H there inside of the second row, Butch Schrader, he is Junior Holbrook's 4th driver this season, from Terry McCarl to Jason Myers, Johnny Herrera. got to be tough. We're only, well, a quarter of the way through, and Junior's gone through half the garage, half the pit area already.
Well, that's part of sprint car racing. There's not a lot of guys under contract or anything, so a lot of teams get moved around. Drivers get pushed around and moved around, and that's just part of it.
Blaney and Kinzer. Schaefer, Schrader, Chesson. Those are the top 5 right now. Getting the top 5 advance to the A main. Dale Blaney, who leads, finished 5th here last May. And of course, on this, the Memorial Day weekend, we remember that Steve Kinzer has raced in the Indianapolis 500, the Daytona 500. He's run an IROC race, the International Race of Champions, at Talladega, Alabama. You need a guy like that to carry the flag of Pennzoil World of Outlaws to other forms of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Steve Kinzer can drive anything, and winning that race, that IROC race at Talladega, proved that point as he's going after Blaney here out of turn 2.
Now, Steve has settled for 2nd in his last 3 races here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway.
I think Dale got a glimpse of him when they come out of turn 2, and Dale, and Kinzer gets down a little bit of grease down there in the bottom.
They've got Basinger's car to go by and just squeezed by. Also another slow machine. That's Schrader, I believe, who's gone off, rather the 07 machine, who has gone off the track. That's Johnny Bridges' entry. Lap number 6 of 8.
That really slowed Steve's momentum when Dale took the bottom line going into 3, and Steve had to check up a little bit, and then they got into those lap cars, and you said Bridges had the motor trouble and pulled off. On a fast racetrack like this, you lift the throttle very much, that you lose a lot of momentum.
And here's the battle for the transfer spot as Blaney gets the win. Is Wood or Chesson going to grab the spot? It's going to be Blaney, Kinzer, Schaefer, Schrader, and Wood. Those top 5 will advance automatically as Dale Blaney. And that is an interesting race car right there when you take a look at everybody who's in the pit area here. That is the only one that we see that features a coil-over suspension system. That's that part of that Blaney family mystique.
Yep, right there on the front you'll see that's, and another thing, it's real long wheelbase from here to here. It's real long. It's like a 90-inch wheelbase. The rules state 90 inches is the limit. They've got it pushed right to the limit. And trying some things, it's got different coilovers on the back here, and the car's really been fast.
They built that car back home in the shop in Hartford, Ohio, as we take a look at the top 5 who will automatically advance. Again, the top 5 do advance. Blaney, Kinzer, Schaefer, Schrader, and Danny Wood. Meanwhile, down in the pits, Dave Argabright is caught up with our first heat race winner.
Well, Eli, when we last saw Donnie Schatz, he was winning at Williams Grove. Now here he is at Charlotte winning the first heat race. You've really got it turned around. What's been the difference the last few weeks?
Well, we got a lot of good things behind us. You know, I think Goodyear's picked up their program quite a bit. Ken Woodruff's doing an awesome job with this race car, and the whole team's working their butt off. We got to put on a good show here this weekend in Charlotte. We got our sponsors, Federlight, here tonight, so we want to win one here tonight for them.
You're busy scraping mud and getting the car ready. Any major changes at this point will we see?
Well, after that heat race there, you know, the first start I was good, and after that I felt like something went wrong, and I couldn't turn the car, and I come in, I said, hey, I think the left rear shock's gone bad on this thing, and we took it off, and it was. Sure enough, it had air, it had no rebound in it, so we'll put a new shock on her, and we'll be out there, we'll be faster than ever.
Well, he's changing and tweaking, but he's got a good night going already.
He is one of the 12 different drivers who have won the first 27 races this year, including, of course, that man, Mark Kinzer. He is in O'Reilly heat number 3 that comes your way when we return.
When it comes to bed.
The senior from here in Oklahoma City. Homered in the 5th.
Finch really needs to keep her cool here. I've always thought that the advantage goes to the pitcher in this situation. She can keep her cool.
That's in for a strike, 0-1.
Crowd didn't like that call because they didn't get it. The last 2 times he didn't give her that pitch.
Now the door's been open, the crowd's up on every call, either side, Oklahoma or Arizona.
Great way to start. Bring it up with a strike.
0-2 now to Washington. Arizona, the 1 seed. Oklahoma, the 5 seed and defending national champions. Finch does not want to throw a strike right here. Make her go fish. Washington's got to be anxious up there. A lot of pressure on her right now. Game on the line. Gotta waste one. Washington keeps it going. Two strikes still. She's going to give me a heart attack if she doesn't waste this one. Finch talking with the umpires. I'm sure the catcher said, "What were you thinking?" Don't be throwing that right down the middle. Everybody's anxious on that one. Looks like there's as many rosary beads out as a Sunday morning in St. Patrick's Cathedral. Grounded down to short. Andrade, long throw. Game over. Wow. Arizona wins it. Coming back from a 4-0 deficit. And the Cats stay in the winner's bracket, and the Giordano's are ecstatic. Nicole, 3 for 4 on the day. She scores 2 runs.
Up to $40,000 for accidental death. Plus, your policy builds cash values you can borrow against. Guaranteed Security Life is easy to get, easy to afford, and easily one of the best life insurance plans ever developed for folks 45 to 75. Call now.
Whether you're calling for yourself or for a parent, call 1-800-972-4100 for free information on Guaranteed Security Life. That's 1-800-972-4100. 1-800-972-4100. 1-800-972-4100.
People's Benefit Life. Expect more.
Welcome back. It's turned out to be a beautiful night here at the dirt track in Concord, North Carolina. Charlotte, Concord, Harrisburg, it all kind of merges together here. Let's welcome now to the telecast the 5th member of our crew, Lisa Chalenza.
Thanks, Eli. Any successful endeavor requires the efforts of more than one person. So given Mark Kinzer's success, it's no surprise he has a dedicated and talented crew. But beyond that is the role his wife Cindy plays in keeping the Kinzer machine moving. While managing his personal affairs and raising their 4-year-old son Cole, Cindy helps keep Mark from the distractions so he can focus on the job at hand. It's not easy considering for the last 14 years they've spent 10 months a year on the road. Traveling from race to race in close quarters could be stressful.
I don't think a lot of people could do what we do. You know, a lot of people can't wait to kick their husbands or wife out the door, which, I mean, but, you know, you're together 7 days, 24 hours a day.
For the past 4 years, the traveling troupe has included their son Cole. It's a challenge that Cindy says is worth accepting because it's afforded the family an opportunity to share special moments.
This way Mark is a part of, you know, Cole's first roller coaster ride, his first, you know, maybe without training wheels on his bike, his first catch, you know, I mean, you know, it's hard when they're at home, you're at home and they're on the road and they miss out on little things like that seems so great, big when you're not there.
See ya.
Good luck, babe.
All right, we'll go get them, huh?
Okay. Beat them all, like Cole says. Beat them all.
With this nomadic existence has come the development of some pretty serious rituals.
My pre-race ritual would be, I don't wear green, I don't eat peanuts at the track, and I never pump fuel on number 13. Never.
On the road, it all comes back to the racing, and racing can be dangerous, but Cindy believes being at the track is a plus.
You know, when you're not there, I think you're more nervous about things, but when you're there, you're wrapped up into what's going on, and you're more concentrating on the racing and you know, how your car looks and how things are going. And you don't, you know, you try to put that in the back of your mind.
An unusual lifestyle, but one that seems to work for both of them and breed success. Back to you, Eli.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Mark Kinzer, who set the track record here a year ago at 11.99 seconds, and it's a record that still stands today as we get set for the 3rd of our O'Reilly Auto Parts heats. And there is Kinzer, who had an outstanding run today, but not quick enough to beat the 12.131 seconds turned in by Donnie Schatz.
But he was 15th quick, but he's on the front row of the heat race, and that's where you want to be. You want to win the heat to get into the dash.
Again, the top 5 will advance into the A main. Field getting the 1 to go signal. We'll be going racing here in just a moment as we get set to add 5 more drivers to the A main. Don't forget, folks, we're here tomorrow night as well. Hope you can make your plans. Charlotte is the 7th 2-day show on the 2001 World of Outlaws Trail. Of course, Devil's Bowl was a 2-day affair. Oklahoma City, the Texas Motor Speedway, Houston, Eldora, and the Talladega Short Track, all 2-day shows. Green flag. Sauter getting around Kinzer, and so too Shepard.
Kyle Sauter, I've seen him only race a couple times at Eldora Speedway in a 360, and he's impressed me every time I've seen him race. And he didn't give Mark Kinzer any room coming out. We got a spin in turn 2, and cars getting together.
And we've got the yellow flag flying, the number 6, number 2, and the number 25 all getting together. Johnny Herrera is there.
Yeah,
there you see the Andy Hillenberg machine. And then having spun away from the scene was the Todd Gracie automobile. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Okay, that's Hillenberg right there. Oh, Gracie comes down on him a little bit, clips Hillenberg's right front. Herrera with no place to go, just gets right in the back of him.
On board right now, and there's the ride that Hillenberg's machine takes, the Luxair entry. So Gracie, who drives a Ford, switching from the 2000 All-Star circuit to the Gum-Out Tour.
You know, this is great.
Rediscover the lost art of conversation. Go RVing. Life's a trip. Visit an RV dealer or call for a free video.
A packed house here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, Charlotte, North Carolina. Glad you're with us. Eli Gold, Brad Doty, Dave Agabright, Bobby Gerald, Lisa Chilenza, and that is Kyle Sauter, who got that great jump on Mark Kinzer to begin this third heat. Sauter, if you're not familiar, joined the World of Outlaws Gum-Out Series after recording some 28 wins in 5 seasons on the 360 Tour, and you know, you oftentimes don't hear about him, but he's shown already tonight that he's to be reckoned with.
That's what I was saying before the spin by Hillenberg and those guys. I've only seen him race once or twice, and that was at Eldora Speedway. He's from Archbold, Ohio, so another one of those young Buckeye drivers, but he's impressed me the times I have seen him. And what impressed me tonight, coming off of turn 4 for that start, he wasn't intimidated by Mark Kinzer at all, and did a nice job to get the lead.
So we are working the caution. Everybody has been cleared from the racetrack, and we're set to go racing again in just a moment or so as the field realigns here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. How does the track look? Seems to be coming in some, Brad.
Well, it's getting a little bit choppy, especially in the middles of 3 and 4. It's starting to chunk out, and the reason because of the water they put on this week and the rain. Getting a little bit chalky down there, but it's not real bad right now.
We have 1 lap complete, 7 remain in this event.
They're right through there a little bit, but the guys are trying to stay above it.
Sauter again gets the jump. Shepard is running right behind him. Then Kinzer going in 3rd.
Mike Goodman in the 3 car, we saw him get in there and get in rough stuff and bicycle a little bit too, but he saved it. It's a fine line to having a track where there's no dust and where it's too wet and it starts to work up a little bit.
And of course, when it rains on you an hour and a half before race time, you're really at the mercy, literally, of the gods.
Yep, especially when they had the track in pretty good shape and had it ready, and then the rains came, and That's what happens.
Kinzer trying to chase down Shepard. The field having already worked by that slowing number 18, the Brian Carlson car you might have seen. Johnny Herrera threatening for that last transfer spot. As you see, a couple of laps remaining. Mike Goodman, Herrera, everybody trying to hang on to what they've got.
Saw it again there. Herrera had a run on Goodman, but got into that rough and actually did a big wheelie coming out of turn 4.
Goodman on his second season with the Gum Out Tour, but nobody's going to chase down Sauter, who picks up a fine showing. Shepard second, Mark Kinzer third, Hannigan and Goodman. Herrera will finish outside the transfer. The same with Chesson and Shank, and Gracie, of course, was off the track. So too Andy Hillenberg. But a nice solid run for Kyle Sauter.
Really is. He's got to be impressed the way that thing feels, and he's impressing some other people here tonight, I'm sure.
So taking a look at who has advanced by virtue of the heat just now concluded. There they are. And again, Johnny Herrera just missing out. So he'll have to come back and try and race his way back into the A main a bit later on.
Yeah, he'll have to come through what they call the B main and try to get back into the high-paying A main.
Coming up, Sammy Swindell, the Channel Lock team, going racing after their win at Hagerstown on the weekend just passed. Sammy's next.
As the Beatles went their separate ways, Paul McCartney fell in love and launched one of the greatest bands of all time, Wings. Wingspan, the ultimate Paul McCartney and Wings collection, now available for the first time ever. 40 digitally remastered tracks on 2 CDs. Includes 17 platinum singles from 9 #1 Paul McCartney and Wings albums.
With a little luck, we can help it out. We can make this whole damn thing work out.
Special packaging includes a 24-page booklet featuring rare photographs and a personal introduction by Paul McCartney himself.
Open the door and let him in.
Order Wingspan now through this special TV offer and receive an exclusive limited edition Wings pin.
Find a way to go no matter what the man said.
Wingspan, over 2.5 hours of the best from Paul McCartney and Wings. All for just $19.98 plus $4.95 shipping and handling.
No more lonely nights.
Wingspan, 40 digitally remastered tracks on 2 CDs for the first time ever.
Only my love does it to be.
To order Paul McCartney's Wingspan 2 CD set and CD $15.98 cassette plus $4.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen. Order now.
From Canada and across the world, they have come to the dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Glad you're with us on TNN Sports. It is the first night of 2 nights of racing, the Chip Thunder Outlaws Showdown. And don't forget, folks, if you can't make it to the next Pennzoil World of Outlaws race, might we suggest that you log on to sprintcarnet.com. They've got the live audio webcasts of over 80 events over the course of this season. So if you can't get there, or if TNN is not on hand to bring you the coverage, check it out live on the internet, sprintcarnet.com. You ever think you'd have us talking about racing on the World Wide Web for the Pennzoil World of Outlaws,
Boy,
Brad?
no, and especially not 80 races a year.
Yeah. They do a good job, too. I had a chance to log on and listen. They really put on a good show for you, folks, if you've not had a chance to check it out. Heat number 4. There is Sammy Swindell, Darren Pittman. Some solid runners right there. Furr, Lasowski, McMahon. Even on down to Stevie Smith.
Well, this is a pretty loaded up heat.
It really is.
Linton Jeffrey there from Sydney, Australia.
And remember, Stevie Smith, who's starting way at the back, was the quickest qualifier in 2 of his last 3 trips here. And of course, Sammy Swindell won his first race in 16 starts last weekend in Hagerstown. So we've got some interesting stories unfolding here. Jason Sides.
Stevie Smith, that was 28th qualifying. Not what they wanted. That's why he was out of the inversion of the heat race, starting way back in this heat race.
Darren Pittman as we ride with Saldana.
Actually, that's
Stevie Smith's
car, an Ingersoll Rand car. Boy, he is struggling. They've been struggling, like we just said, in qualifying. Boy, running way back in the heat race. They've got some work to do.
The U2 is McMahon. There's your leader, Pittman. He's been second at Tulsa, sixth at Topeka in the most recent Gumout Series races. There's the transfer spot behind Pittman, Swindell, Furr, and Lasowski. You've got Sides on the left of your screen, McMahon on the right. That is the final transfer spot.
Yeah, Jason Sides is the current point leader with the World of Outlaws Gumout Series. Won a race in Tulsa, Oklahoma a while back, and as I said, leading the points, unsponsored there.
And McMahon right there has not been worse than 6th in 4 races here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Up front, 1.1 seconds now for Pittman on Swindell.
Yeah, Pittman's a really good run there to get away from Sammy like that. Sammy's usually on these rougher, stickier race. Oh, there you can see him.
Hang on, Sammy.
Right through that middle rough stuff that they were trying their best to stay out of, but that's kind of the fast line right now.
He has changed the heads on some of his motors, Swindell has, along with the maturing of those Goodyear tires that we had talked about. And there's the second-year owner driver, Darren Pittman. Drove that number 3 J&J to a 13th place finish last year, grabs the points, or at least the heat race win here, with Swindell finishing second, Furr, Lasowski, and Sides. So McMahon doesn't make it, nor does Smith, nor does Jeffrey, as Darren Pittman takes the win in the 4th and final of our heat races here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. So take a look at exactly how those top 5 finished. Again, it turns out to be 1.9 seconds of an edge for Pittman over Swindell. Brad Furr was 3.5 seconds back. Sides was 5.5 seconds back. So Pittman really pulled away.
Really nice laps for him, and they've got that car working. If the track stays the way it is, they'll be in good shape later on.
Meanwhile, Bobby Gerald has caught up with an earlier heat winner. That's Dale Blaney.
That's right, Dale Blaney getting the job done, and Brother Dave's number 10. And how important now for you to set you up for the rest of the night by getting the heat race win?
Well, it'll start us probably in the second row of the dash, whereas if we won the heat, we would have probably started, I'd say, 14th in the A and not run the dash. So, I mean, it gives another chance on the racetrack, see if we can make it a little bit better, maybe run in traffic a little bit more and see what it does there.
All right, we wish you good luck. Let's send it over to Dave Argabride, who's standing by with Kyle Sauter.
Well, Kyle Sauter gave us a big smile a second ago. This is just his first season in 410s, wins a big, important heat here at Charlotte. What do you think, buddy? You like these 410s?
Oh, yeah. You know, Kreiner builds me a great motor, Maxim chassis, Goodyear tires work excellent. Yeah, you know, this is a big win for us. TV's great. You know, without all my sponsors, I couldn't be here.
How big a step up from a 360 group to come and run with the Outlaws at a place like this?
It's pretty big. You know, we were very competitive on the 360 level, and you come to the 410, it's a whole new world. You know, it's tough out here, and I'm just proud that my guys and everybody could put a win together out here.
It's a whole new world, but he's figuring it out quickly. Eli?
I guess he is. An impressive run, an impressive start that really got him around Kinzer and got him gone in his O'Reilly heat race. Coming up next, we'll see Pittman and others in the Channel Lock Dash.
Mopar. Great parts for these vehicles and yours. That's the Mopar difference.
How much PC can $849 get you? More PC than we can tell you about in 30 seconds. A super fast Intel Pentium 3 processor, CD-ROM, accelerated graphics, pro quality audio system, monitor, one-touch internet access, lots of memory, plus 5 color choices, red, green, blue, purple, and orange. And that's just for starters. The compact Presario 5000T. Let us build one for you. Call toll-free 1-888-252-0535 for all this, and we'll double your memory for free. Hey, do I have time to mention the...
On June 1st, he's part human, part animal, but all man.
Is that your goat?
Animal, rated PG-13, opens June 1st.
It's the greatest thing that's happened to a sandwich since sliced bread. The one and only Vlasic Sandwich Stackers. Ham up your ham.
Wow.
Make your tikey pikey.
Whoa!
Pep it up with the original Sandwich Stackers from Vlasic, the perfect pickle to stack.
Put performance in your bike with split-fire spark plugs, because performance is everything.
If you ever wait...
Need contact lenses? You could. Get in your car, drive to your eye doctor, wait in line, pay twice as much, wait a week, drive back, pick them up. Or call 1-800-CONTACTS. We deliver. You save. 1-800-CONTACTS is the world's largest contact lens store, with 10 million contacts in stock and 100,000 shipped every day. You'll get delivery right away. Call 1-800-CONTACTS. We deliver. You save.
By first understanding ourselves, we can better love another. And both of you were seeing somebody else at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, I mean, so stop it right now. You know he was tipping and you know you were tipping. You don't have no qualm about pick up that man. What is that, him pager or him cell phone you always checking?
Yes.
That's your plan, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
When he goes to the bathroom, that's when you are run for it. Get honest answers. Call me now for your free reading.
1-800-987-9685.
TNN Sports coverage of the Chip Thunder Outlaw Showdown, presented by Lance Snacks, is being brought to you by Mopar. Parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. A beautiful night in the Queen City of the Carolinas. That is uptown Charlotte. In the foreground is Ericsson Stadium, home of the NFL's Carolina Panthers, and a beautiful skyline of Charlotte. We are about 15 miles north on Interstate 85 at a jam-packed dirt track here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway for the first night of 2 nights of racing here on TNN for the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. Hey, quick reminder, coming up on Monday, it is cable television's top-rated show, WWF Raw is War. Hey, it's wild, it's unpredictable, it is downright raw. That's Monday nights at 9 Eastern and Pacific, all right here on TNN. As we get set for more action on the racetrack, it's busy in the pits. Dave Argabright.
Well, extremely busy, Eli, here in the pit of Mark Kinzer. They decided to go with an engine change. The previous engine did not break. However, they just weren't satisfied with the horsepower they were generating. Engine builder Gary Stanton had a brand new, fresh Mopar engine ready to bolt in. The team elected to hurry up and try to get the engine change done right now so that they're very stout for the rest of the races tonight. So hurry up is the mode of operation right here at Mark Kinzer's pit, guys.
Well, I guess this is why they call this motor racing, but these guys are always thrashing, trying to get just a couple of horsepower. And if it's down at all, it can really put them behind for the night.
We've seen some interesting calls tonight, even what Donnie Schatz talked about, feeling that the shocks weren't quite right on his car.
I tell you, that was really impressive for him to be able to feel his AFCO shocks. He runs AFCOs on that car, and to feel something going wrong and to know which corner it was, that was pretty impressive.
Bobby Gerald, how about Brian Paulus? We saw that machine go to pieces on the flip on the very first heat race. How is the progress coming?
Well, you're looking at the progress right now. If it's a thrash at Mark Kinzer, it looks like a war zone over here at Brian Paulus's number 28. They've got pieces and parts laying all over the place, and the driver right now is trying to find a little rest and relaxation here and regroup after getting upside down. Brian, taking a look at the crash right now. Take us again through what happened, and will you guys be able to get out there for the B main?
You know, all that really happened was I misjudged the entry on the corner, and I got in. I knew the point I needed to hit, and when I got to that point, I had to check up at the wrong time, and the car biked up in the one rut getting into one, and you know, it just bounced. I couldn't get it under control before I got into the wall. As far as getting it ready for the B, you know, we'll just have to see if we can get the Verdelli Farms Arnold Transportation car back together.
All right, well, Brian Paulus, it's a thrash down here for the 28 team. They're hoping to get back out here for the B main, but they're really going to have to step it up, Eli.
He will, of course, also running a number of USAC Coors Light Silver Bullet events this year. Brian Paulus, who moved his racing operation to Dallas during the offseason. If you're just joining us here, who has already advanced to the A main coming up a bit later on, the top 5 finishers from each of the 4 O'Reilly heats.
Yeah, and each winner of those 4 heats are the first 4 cars that you see here, and this is the rest of the guys that transferred out, that top 5. They'll run this dash, and the way they finish this is the way they'll line the A main up.
So if you're not familiar with the format of the evening, how they finish that Channel Lock Dash is the way they start the A. Back with more from Charlotte in a moment. The Pennzoil World of Outlaws are on TNN from the dirt track in Charlotte, the Lowe's Motor Speedway. It is 4/10 of a mile around, short straights, but it's a great racetrack for these 1,200-pound, 800-horsepower race cars. And it's a great track for the super crowd. Lisa, it's Memorial Day. You know the folks are going to turn out in record numbers.
They're having a great time out here. I'm surrounded by people from all over the Northeast, all over the United States. Where are you guys from?
Lambertville, New Jersey.
And you're from?
I'm from West Downwell, right outside of Lambertville.
Okay, and I have a lady here from another country. Where are you from?
Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada.
Very good. And you, sir?
Hey, Football Hall of Fame City, Canton, Ohio.
So we're just surrounded by people having a great time on this Memorial Day. Eli, I mean, they're spending money. They're having a good time. They've bought so much World of Outlaws paraphernalia, I can't even tell you. So, Eli, have a good time up there in the booth. I'm having a great time down here in the stands.
Down there amongst them, and it's a great place to be. I'll tell you, the Pennzoil World of Outlaws fans, the response that we have gotten, that I've gotten from the folks who are, you know, saying, well, let's see how things go with the new guy in the booth. These fans are very passionate. Not only do they love their sport, they're passionate about it.
They were keeping an eye on you, weren't they, Eli?
Yes, and rightfully so. There's Dale Blaney getting set to go racing, and of course the others who are in the field, the 1X of Randy Hannigan. Time for the Channel Lock Dash. And there you see the starting grid. 10 advancing here at the dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Can Steve Kinzer come from a 9th starting spot to the front? We'll find out.
Boy, on a racetrack like this, it's going to be a little tough. In only, 8 or 10 laps, whatever this dash is.
8 laps, yeah.
It's going to be real hard for those guys in the back, but you know, they want to make some early passes, try to make things happen quickly before they get too strung out.
Jeff Shepard, who qualified fastest here in last October's preliminary weekend, so he knows his way around. Blaney, who has 2 wins already in Tri-City Speedway in unofficial testing for the 2001 World of Outlaws circuit. If you want to give him credit for those wins and test sessions, hey, drivers will take wins anywhere they can get them.
Whether it's hot laps, whatever it is.
We won practice. We've heard that as well. And we'll watch Kinzer as we ride with Blaney for the start. 8 laps in the Channel Lock Dash. Up goes Shepard while Pittman takes the lead. Shepard stayed out of the wall. You saw Lasowski go by in the white number 20. Tell you, Darren, Pittman's going to be tough here this evening.
Yeah, he sure is. And again, Kyle Sauter there right in front of Dale Blaney running second. Is Sauter hanging right in there.
As we've told you, 12 different drivers have won the first 27 events this year. Everybody's kind of leaving a calling card for what can happen here this Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it's been a great season. Not one or 2 teams really dominating this year, and that's really good for the sport.
Good scramble. Back straightaway, what little straightaway there is. Blaney and Sauter.
Well, Sauter's running up about the middle of the racetrack, and he's leaving the bottom wide open for Dale. And Dale's got to pinch the car coming off a little pretty tight, and might be messing up, losing some horsepower as he comes off the corner because he has to pinch the car so tight.
Sauter holding off the challenge here on the Channel Lock Dash. Pittman is pulled away by 2.5 seconds. If you're wondering where he is, Kyle Sauter He raced with the World of Outlaws last year at Bristol. So you may not have heard his name on a regular basis. A lot of you folks know him certainly, but he raced with the circuit last year at Bristol. Meanwhile, Pittman, his best finish was third last year at West Plains, Missouri. That's the best showing he's had on the Pennzoil World of Outlaws circuit. This night could well be his, or possibly tomorrow evening as well. As TNN returns, checkered flag is out. Pittman, Blaney, Schatz, Sauter, and Delansky as the checkers fly from Glenn Jarman's hands. So young Darren Pittman's got himself a pretty fine starting spot come the A main. He's got the best seat in the house.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, sometimes a young guy like that, I mean, he's got a lot of experience, but it's still tough out here to have to start on the front row. He knows that it's his race to lose, basically, from that point.
And Steve Kinzer, by the way, only moved up one position from that 9th starting spot he advanced past. And actually, Shepard came back to him more so than Kinzer advancing.
Well, Shepard's top wing was starting to collapse from the high speeds here. Maybe mud clot hit it, so that put Shepard back. But once they get strung out, Eli, they're just trying to feel that race car out, know what it's trying to do, and make sure they don't tear it up for this A main.
So Darren Pittman gets the win. There you see, and a remember again that how they finish in the Channel Lock Dash is how they start in the A main. Darren Pittman, one of those that you really haven't heard all that much about, as we were saying earlier. Second year as an owner driver in that number 3 J&J. But we really obviously learned a lot after a 13th place in points a year ago.
Yeah, they're unsponsored too, and they're going to run the gum out deal and try to learn and win some races and get through the season and hopefully have a year like Paul McMahon and Delansky are having this year with the World of Outlaws.
Let's go downstairs to Bobby Gerald.
And here he is. This is Darren Pittman. This is Darren Pittman.
I will be hearing from Bobby in just a second as he gets in a position to chat with the winner of the Channel Lock Dash.
Darren Pittman.
And obviously a bit of a problem with Bobby's microphone, so we'll hear from Darren a bit later on, but there's a great look at the driver of that number 3 machine. Coming up will be the B main. Got a lot of big names trying to advance to the A.
So I'm in Santa Monica. I live in Santa Monica, and you know, I was running on San Vicente. I do that run, and I do the stairs, and I was coming back from a great workout, and I met this guy who was really cute. Turns out he's an Avenger guy. He's on the Avengers, Arena Football, and he said, "Hey, you can see me on TNN." I can't wait. I can't wait to watch. I hope he heard me. I'm the one with the blonde. I'm the blonde ponytail, Rosemary from Santa Monica, and he loved when I was working out.
TNN Sports with you here at the dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Glad you're with us as we close in on the B main. 4 more will advance out of this race to the A main. And now that the microphone grumblings have been cured, Dave Argabright is caught up with the man who won the Channel Lock Dash.
Eli, don't be talking about those microphones till we're out of this, you know. 22-year-old Darren Pittman, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. You've won every race you've been in tonight. You kept that car nice and clean all night. You've struggled some this year. Is this the turnaround night?
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll find out after this 30 laps. So I tell you what, it'd really turn us around and get us going good. So far, you know, Roger Johnson and Bob Curtis doing an excellent job working for me, and we got the car really nice. And we're in the place to be. We're up front where it's going to be nice and clean. We're not going to use a lot of tear off, so we can stay in clean air. So hopefully we'll just be able to stay up there for 30.
Looks very tacky. Is it going to be difficult to free the car up to be able to get around this place?
Yeah, this is one of the racetracks where I don't think you can get a car too loose. It's really wet and a lot of mud, and it's starting to get pretty rough out there. So it's going to be tough to get the car free, and it's going to be tough to pass on.
Well, but he's won everything he's been in tonight, Eli.
There has not, though, been a ton of passing as we take a look at the grid for the B main, and some pretty good names in there. Brian Paulus was to have started on the pole, but he is not out there. But everybody else is, as Paulus couldn't get his car rebuilt after that first heat accident. Green is in the air, and Andy Hillenberg gets the jump on the 83 machine of Joey Saldana, who settles it in second.
When you get 40 of the top sprint cars in the country trying to get into a 24-car A main, that's how you end up with a B main loaded up with some good cars like this.
With Stevie Smith giving us the ride around the 4/10 of a mile track here. Way up the banking he went. Hillenberg, Saldana, McMahon, Laney in the 52, and then Gracie in the 25. As we ride now with Saldana, that number 83 machine, the Beef Packers entry. McMahon challenging right behind him for the third spot, second and third. All of this taking place 2 seconds behind the leader, Hillenberg. There's a good look at Joey Saldana, having taken over the ride that was vacated by Jack Hodenshield, or the ride that Jack was told to vacate.
Big difference,
more
I guess.
Appropriately put.
Heard Pittman talking about tear-offs getting to start up front. When the track's sticky and muddy like this, it's throwing a lot of mud up in their faces, and you know, you're preoccupied with pulling those things off, and maybe instead of driving the race car at times, and it can take your concentration and your focus away.
Nice pass by the 52 of Laney as he slid right by the Saldana machine. So Laney's up to third. Little agricultural racing for Ben Basinger right there. The Granite Quarry, North Carolina driver, as Andy Hillenberg continues to just pace the field. He is up by 2 1/10 seconds in his Luxair entry. Folks, great seats remain for tomorrow night if you want to see some of this racing in person. If you're heading to Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600, or if you're in the area want to see some dirt track racing, remember, good seats do remain for the racing here tomorrow, as you see Hillenberg trying to work his way through traffic. Others also picking their way through. Chesson running in 7th. That's that green number 22. Stevie Smith with the challenge to his inside. That's a great battle right there. White flag is in the air for that man, Andy Hillenberg. The Luxair team is going to advance in along with McMahon, Laney, and Saldana. Those are the front 4 who automatically advance from this B main to the A main. So Andy Hillenberg, who has not done better than a 5th place that he posted here in last May's preliminary, finds himself advancing to the A main. Solid run for him.
Really is. I mean, these, like I said, the B main is just so loaded up. A lot of good cars back there did not make this A main, and if they don't have any provisionals, they're in trouble for tonight.
And you know, there was some decent passing in this race right here, not for the lead, granted, but we just talked about the fact that there hadn't been that much passing to this point. Well, some of those guys made a liar out of me. Good run for Ronald Laney right there.
Yeah, it really was, but where the passing, the key is these are getting into longer races, Eli. The heat races, everything's over so quick. When they get into these longer races, they'll get into more lap traffic, and that's going to help more passing.
Of course, this event, as you'll be seeing, part of the Rat Bag Cup. Both races here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway with some points on the line. 30 laps to settle it here in Las Vegas. Glad you're with us on TNN. Hillenberg gets hooked as he goes around, and Kinzer trying to avoid him, ends up on the wall. Caution on the speedway. Now on March the 2nd, Las Vegas, Nevada, Hillenberg is the winner. And here we go at the Texas Motor Speedway on TNN. Mark Kinzer is just pulling away, but they have left a calling card here in the Lone Star State. Mark Kinzer wins at the Texas Motor Speedway. 30 laps to settle it here in Houston. Steve Kinzer, who swept him here in Houston last year, picking right back up here in 2001. The King is back to victory lane.
Hi, I'm Penny from Down Under in Oz. We like our racing fast and dirty in Australia, so watch the action in the Rat Bag Cup as the drivers hit the dirt, chasing $120,000 in prize money.
Folks, remember, both main events here at Lowe's Motor Speedway will be part of the Rat Bag Cup, which rewards the competitors with $120,000 at the end of the season. The top 10 finishers in last year's points are eligible for the Rat Bag competition, and the driver accumulating the most points in the 18 Rat Bag Cup events, which are the races televised by TNN, will earn a $25,000 bonus, and you just saw the points as they stood through 3 events. Danny Lasowski's team with the advantage.
What you see him doing there is measuring the stagger, how much smaller the left rear tire is. very critical, especially as sticky as this racetrack is. They'll run more stagger, which means a smaller left rear tire when the track's heavy like this.
For those of you not familiar, stagger is a racing term for circumference, the distance around the race tire. Donnie Schatz and his dad looking on as their team has been very, very strong already here tonight. Finished third here in one event last fall on 7 cylinders, if you remember. So there's a guy who's going to be part of the show. Get the whole family going there on the Schatz team.
That's Kenny Woodruff's wife, Annie. There, she's very involved with this team and keeping up with Kenny Woodruff and helping him out on the road.
He, of course, the crew chief for the Donnie Schatz Minot Missile. Good to see you, Ann. How you doing? Back with more from the Lowe's Motor Speedway in a moment.
Ooh. Dear gentle-minded consumer. Ooh, I've taken up the natural life. I'm new Cottonelle toilet paper with aloe and E. I've got a silky, gentle touch you can actually feel. So the next time nature calls, try new gentle me. I'll make you cheerier with a gentle touch on your posterior. Sincerely, new Cottonelle with aloe and E.
The power of being there. Going anywhere you want. Seeing anyone you want. That's the power Choice Hotels gives you. And with thousands of locations in the U.S. and Canada, you can always find a great deal and a great place to stay. And now when you book a 2-night stay in advance and pay with your MasterCard, you get a $5 gas card. The power of being there has never been better. $5 gas card. Choice Hotels.
New Carefree Coolers Citrus Splash. A cool, wet rush of flavor you can feel.
Everybody grab a spoon and do the Cool Whip. Woo! A rub-a-dub-dub, make it better with the tub. Do the Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Cool Whip, baby.
Imagine.
Okay, which one's better, 1 or 2?
That would be 2.
Good. Now, 1 or 2?
2 again.
All right. Now, better 1 or 2?
Definitely 2.
Want to see big savings on replacement contacts? Call Lens Express. You call us, we call your doctor. You save up to 50% off the retail price. For name brand contacts, just like the doctor ordered, call 1-800-LENS-EXPRESS.
Are you near a phone? Can you take down a number? Then call to find out about term life insurance at competitive rates from a respected insurer, Protective Life Insurance Company. A 35-year-old could get a $200,000 policy for less than $14 a month. A 40-year-old could get a $250,000 policy for less than $18 a month. For your free quote, call now. Matrix Direct, 1-800-390-3019.
Welcome back. A beautiful night after rain earlier today as TNN Sports is with you at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, and you could not shoehorn another person in here. Hey, we signed on the air talking about Mark Kinzer. He's not been dominating yet tonight. Let's hear from him.
A lot of thrashing down here with the engine change. Everything okay?
Yeah, we had a real quick engine change. We had a lot of time between our heat race and the feature. We qualified poorly. We run poorly in our heat race, so we thought, what the heck? We had a brand new Gary Stanton Mopar here on the spot. The team did a good job of putting the motor in. Right now, we're just making all the last-minute wrap-ups.
Of course, brand new engine. The driver has no excuses. Isn't that right?
You never have one with this team. Let me tell you, just ask my mechanic.
Mark Kinzer, he's very optimistic now. He's smiling, guys.
Yeah, he is smiling right there. A pretty solid engine change. Hey, folks, remember you can see the biggest stars in sports entertainment and get a behind-the-scenes look at what's going down in the World Wrestling Federation. WWF Superstars Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern and Pacific. All coming up right here on TNN. Hey, you know who's being a major factor here tonight, actually all season long? Craig Delansky, only 96 points behind the series point leader Mark Kinzer. Bobby, he's third in points right now.
Yes, he is, and he does it very quietly. We haven't heard a lot from him tonight, but Craig Delansky sitting in third in points and trying to figure out, like the rest of these guys, what are you going to do to free up your car for this main event? It's so sticky out there.
Well, it's real sticky, Bobby, and we're just going to try and put a little more stagger on the race car. You know, and space that right rear out about as far as you can get it right now. And, you know, that's pretty much what everybody's trying to do here right now is unhook their race cars. So we'll see what happens here.
We'll show you what we're talking about now. As we look at the left rear tire, you can see it's a little bit narrower. And now as we go to the right rear, look at the difference in size. We are talking about 16 inches, the difference. That is the stagger that Craig Delansky is rolling out here onto the racetrack with tonight. 16 inches, Brad Doty, is something like we would see at Chico Silver Dollar Speedway on the tight little quarter mile. You don't see it that often on a track this big.
Well, that just tells us how sticky this track is. And again, the left rear is narrower, but that 16 inches is smaller around. And Craig also talked about moving the right rear tire out as far as they can get it. The further out they can get this right rear, as you see here, there's spacers in there. They'll slide that tire. Yeah, there's spacers down in there. They'll slide the right rear tire out, and that just frees the car up, lets it slip into the corner more.
Any offset you can get, but tires are a story here. We understand that there are some teams, Dave Argabright, who are beginning to hook on some Goodyears right now.
Yes, we saw the 5M car of Mark Kinzer. They're putting Goodyears on the back. But right now we're down at the pit of Andy Hillenberg in the Luxair 2. Just won that B main. Looks to me, Andy, we talk about track setup a lot, but it's going to be difficult to see and keep all the parts on your car with all the flying mud.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to see, you know, because of the mud. And then also we're having a little, you know, there's so much water on the track that the radiators are going to plug up. So that could be a problem. But if you get your car loose enough and you can pass people without having to follow them, then the mud won't, you know, naturally won't be near as big a problem. So we'll just see how we do from the back.
Is it important, though, to try to get that car that loose for this kind of track? Can you get it loose enough?
Yeah, it's real important to get them loose, and the simple reason why is if you're too tight, the guys in front of you, if you take the wind off of them or if they're just tight in general, they're gonna bounce the front end, and when they bounce the front end, they're gonna drive up the track and be in front of you. So if you're loose enough and you can go in on the top and turn and either make the top all the way around or turn and go down to the bottom and go underneath those cars, then you know, your car will be working properly and you could win the race. So it's gonna be a heck of a race tonight.
He likes these tough old cowboy tracks, and now he's giving us a driving clinic. Andy Hillenberg, thank you.
Right there's the air inlet on this J&J chassis. Talking about the radiators plugging up. That's kind of unique on this car. The radiator lays up in there and kind of lays flat up on top of the frame rail. And that intake right there is where they're going to have to be careful because you can see all the mud laying on the ground and stuff. But all these cars, I mean, the radiator obviously is in the front of them. Wouldn't matter if it's a Maxim or Eagle, whatever. So on a muddy track like this, we could see a lot of engines steaming and maybe blowing up before this thing's over with.
That's the Luxair team. Andy Hillenberg comes in 5th in points. He is 182 markers behind Mark Kinzer. TNN Sports with you here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, and there are those Goodyear Eagles alongside the Mopar machine.
Well, we talked about unhooking the race car, and they must feel that the compound or this tire that the Goodyear has will free the car up enough through the corners. And obviously Carl Kinzer has seen something tonight, and that's why they're doing it.
Oh, he's also seen them win here of late on the circuit. They've also seen tonight a couple of heat races and the dash having been won by teams shod with Goodyears.
Well, that's Carl Kinzer. He'll do whatever it takes to make that race car fast. Some teams are more loyal to others. Maybe it's a financial reason or whatever, but Carl, the bottom line is he wants to win races and has to win races for all his sponsors, and he does what it takes to win.
So off come the Hoosiers, on go the Goodyear Eagles for Mark Kinzer as this jam-packed grandstand.
Hey America, what's your vice?
Probably my biggest vice would be my motorcycle.
Sex chat rooms.
You don't want to know, you're a man. You know, the thought of someone watching just does it for me. The thrill.
Gotta be gambling.
Of knowing.
Martinis.
That I might get caught.
It's gotta be a good gin.
Total exhibitionist.
Is lying a vice?
Watch the Miami Vice Memorial Day Marathon, Monday, May 28th, all day on TNN.
Deck and patio owners, have you ever been frustrated by the weather on your deck or patio? Struggling with the blazing hot midday sun or those unpredictable summer showers?
At last, there's a solution that lets you outsmart the weather. It's the easy-to-use and affordable Sunsetter retractable awning. And right now, you can get the whole Sunsetter story in this free catalog and video. Inside, you'll discover how the easy-to-use Sunsetter can help you enjoy your
Sunsetter retractable awning, including details on a special savings offer on now, plus our 90-day no-risk home trial. Call now 1-800-743-4900.
Does it sound like a freight train is barreling through your bedroom? It's impossible to sleep with a snorer.
Hello, I'm Dr. Ken Frank. I'm a medical doctor and a snorer. There is a way to stop snoring. To prevent snoring.
Silent Snore prevents the vibrations of the tissues that produce the sound of snoring. Just spray and swallow.
My husband snores so loudly. Since I bought him Silent Snore, I am able to sleep in peace.
I can't believe it's so safe, so simple, and so effective.
I actually tape recorded myself snoring at night. It was awful. But with Silent Snore, it worked instantly, and I don't snore at night anymore.
I hate to admit it, but I snore, and I've suffered with embarrassment for years. Now with Silent Snore, I never have to be embarrassed again.
Silent Snore is safe to use every night, and with just one spray, you will stop snoring, guaranteed.
Guaranteed to work the very first night or your money back. Call to order your 1-month trial supply of Silent Snore for only $29.95. Call now to find out how you can get Silent Snore for just $19.95 per month. If you don't stop snoring the very first night, return the product for a full refund.
Call 1-800-889-8896. That's 1-800-889-8896. Call now.
Been with us all night. You've already seen Brian Paulus do that in the very first heat race, and you've seen Billy Wilburn fight a car with a flat left rear tire. Brad Doty, we've had action start to finish so far.
It's been a wild night.
From Darren Pittman and Sammy Swindell's fine runs to others who've really experienced some strong runs, like Andy Hillenberg. They're all set to go in the A-Main coming up. Welcome back to the dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. There's weather on the horizon. We are again racing against Mother Nature, but we are set now for the A-Main. So let's look at the Mopar starting grid for the A-Main. Mopar parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. Don't rule out Kyle Sauter, and obviously the normal list of suspects. Where's your favorite? Billy Wilburn had a good run going before that tire went away. Big names coming from the back of the field as well. Stevie Smith going shotgun. And folks, remember, coming up, Lernerville and Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be up there in Sarver, Pennsylvania next weekend, right here on TNN. Couple of weeks at the Bristol Motor Speedway, and if you've not seen those high banks with dirt on them, you're missing quite a treat. We've got some great racing coming up, and folks, the box offices are available. Ticket offices are open at both of those tracks for you to make your plans for next week at Lernerville and in a couple of weeks' time at Bristol as we take a look at Jason Sides.
Yeah, Jason Sides there. I wanted to correct a thing I said earlier. They didn't have a sponsor. I meant to say Darren Pittman was without a sponsor, and Jason Sides, the current Gum Out point leader, has the country band Diamond Rio and the hunting catalog as a sponsor. So I wanted to clarify that. It's Darren Pittman that's looking for the sponsor, as is a lot of guys.
A lot of fellows certainly are, as we get the traditional four abreast salute to the fans here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. They've put a good bit of water down on this racetrack between the B-Main and the A-Main as the field is saluted, and of course the typical Bruton Smith Humpy Wheeler fireworks display that you see at the Speedway Motorsports tracks.
But people are saying, probably sitting at home saying, well, if it's already too wet, why'd they put more water? They watered the infield. A lot of the guys are running down in the grass, putting the left side tires right down there in the infield grass, and they watered that down to try to keep the cars and keep the guys from trying to pass down there.
There used to be grass a little bit further out into the running groove right there, and there you see the other end of the racetrack.
Yeah, right around here. They put some water on there just to keep the guys from trying to get down there and making moves, making passes on people.
Guys would go off the racetrack to win, would they?
Wherever they need it. If they could turn right and go out the gate and come around and win, they would do that, I guarantee you.
There's a great look at the dirt track here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. What is that like? What is it? I guess it's maybe close to Eldora or something?
Yeah, this is about as... Eldora is a unique place, but this
Yeah.
was kind of modeled after Eldora. It's not quite as banked and not quite as long as straightaways, but sitting up here, it reminds me a lot of Eldora Speedway.
You carry a lot of momentum around this 410th mile.
Yeah, you really do. And again, that's what Eldora is all about, is momentum. And that's what these guys like sometimes with these big motors.
$35,000 on the line tonight out of $112,000 that's on the line for the weekend. Green flag and a power move by Blaney around Pittman. That didn't take long.
Well, Danny,
but the red flag is out because we've got cars on their sides, we've got cars turned around, and you see the very first yellow, the 0, the 5M, and the 21W.
Yep, I was going to say, I thought one of them was Mark Kinzer in the 5M, the points leader.
Him right there. You had Billy Wilburn in the 0, the Danny Wood 21W machine also involved. And Billy Wilburn.
There's Danny Wood. He's not happy, but I saw Mark Kinzer moving around there a little bit, trying to get out of the car. We're going to get a replay.
Let's see what happens here.
Oh, they're just, what, 2, 4? They're like 5 wide down the front straightaway, and it just didn't work.
Man.
Now, Danny Wood, that looks like that happened in the back. Maybe somebody checked up because of the wreck, and he got up over a wheel. We're going to see it here. This car, whoever right there, that looks like that might have been the 8H car came down and got into maybe Mark there.
Looked like Butch Schrader was the one who was there in the middle as well. Carnage o'plenty here on the first lap of the A-Main. Any angle you look at it, coming at you, going away from you.
Okay, there's Danny Wood. He turned to try to avoid it and turned left. And with a sprint car, with the stagger we talked about earlier, that smaller left rear tire, well, they only run about 4 to 5 pounds in the left rear tire. And when it turns to the right, that sharp, that left rear tire digs in and starts flipping. And that looks like what happened to Danny Wood.
Again, Kinzer was out. There he is. So we told you Butch Schrader got through. Others were caught up, impacted to some degree. Billy Wilburn's car still down there on the racetrack. But I'll tell you something, folks. Remember the point leader? This is going to start altering things and really sets the stage for tomorrow night when we come back here on TNN. We'll pick things right up in a moment. Don't go away. We'll return in a second.
You got the wrong guy.
Think this is harsh? Well, it's what you do to your car every day. All that stop-and-go driving is torture on your engine. But Pennzoil with Pure Base is formulated to protect against the harshness of all that stopping and starting. Stop-and-go protection from Pennzoil. Try Pennzoil Synthetic for protection during hot summer conditions.
When you're a big-time racer, it's just fame, fortune, and fans. A pretty cool package. Now, get up to $300 cash back or $300 worth of preventative maintenance services or 6 months free financing. Either way, it means big-time savings for you. Win a trip for 2 to the season-ending race in Las Vegas November 2nd and 3rd. Call or visit our website for details. Entries due by May 31st. Luxair, setting the performance standard.
Well, this is what happened on lap number 1 of the A-Main. In row number 7, Butch Schrader came through, plowing his way.
Picture this. It's midnight. The two of you are nestled on the couch after a romantic dinner and a bottle of wine. What are you gonna do? Turn on the weather? Playboy TV. Watch more. Order Playboy TV with your remote on channel 595.
Introducing the best movie value on DirecTV, the Stars Super Pack. It's #1 in new hit movies. You'll see award-winning movies like Erin Brockovich, U571, and The Cider House Rules. Movies you won't get anywhere else but the Stars Super Pack. You'll get 12 different movie channels for only $10 more per month with any Total Choice package. Get the best movie value with the Star Super Pack on DirecTV. Call now 1-800-547-4DTV. The Star Super Pack. It's #1 in new hit movies.
A rain dance while Danny Lasowski's bunch, they are 3 points behind in second in the standings. They're hoping that this thing gets staged and green very, very quickly because they're right. There's lightning. You'll see it every now and then on our shots there on the horizon.
Yeah, there's no way they can get that car fixed unless there's rain. But if they run one lap, Mark and those guys, if it rains after that point, they'll be a lap down and they couldn't come back anyway.
Dave Argerbride, we can see a lot of work on Danny Wood's car.
Yeah, Eli, it looks like the front axle's gone. A couple of shock mounts are broken off, or bent, rather, and they're just thrashing around trying to change everything as quickly as they could. I asked Danny what happened. He said the track's just soft enough that, you know, trying to miss the melee, he just turned, and once you get even slightly sideways here, you just dig in and over you go. So he's very, very disappointed.
And these guys don't want to quit thrashing either, even Mark Kinzer's car, because even if it doesn't rain, if they go back to green and another accident like this happens where it closes the track, brings out the red, they still haven't completed a lap. These guys can still race and get back into the field.
So everybody waiting to reform and get going here on the A main. Pittman, Blaney, Schatz. Sauter is not back out there, and the word we're getting from the guys in the pits is that he's got some handling problems. That's interesting to diagnose in the space of about a half lap of the A main.
Yeah, I don't understand that. There's more to that because they could fix that handling problem on this red flag. So I'd say there's more to it than a handling problem.
Going green, the start of the 30-lap A main here in Charlotte. Blaney and Pittman give it to Blaney on the start. Big time power move for Lasowski. He'll grab second. Pittman is back to third. Steve Kinzer, and a major problem up front. Has one car. That'll be the leader going up into the outside wall. Dale Blaney with our onboard camera having taken a wild ride. He just hooked something going through 3 and 4. And Blaney, as you see, jumping out of the mangled number 10 machine.
This is what I was just talking about, Eli. I don't think we got a complete lap here. So Danny Wood's car, they're back there. If they're still thrashing on that thing, they might be able to get back out and restart this race.
Ever have one of those days when it pays to not get out of bed?
Oh, boy. I tell you, I see the left rear right there. The left rear's peeled off. That might have caused the accident. If you got in and peeled the left rear off like we saw Billy Wilburn do, let's see what happens. Yes, right there.
Yes, it sure did. You could see it coming off the rim.
Yep, the left rear tire, just like Billy Wilburn, came off and just turned him around. And again, what's causing that? The racetrack is so sticky and a little bit of choppy down there. And these guys, if they run the bead lock on the outside of the left rear tire, it just peels it off the rim.
On board Blaney as the world goes topsy-turvy on him.
There's not a thing the driver can do. It was not his fault that the tire peeled off or anything. Man, oh man, that just now see, right there's the bead lock on the outside. That squeezes the bead of the tire and keeps it from spinning on the wheel, and it also keeps from peeling off. Back here on the backside is a standard bead, and it just peels it off. Some guys run the bead lock on the inside as opposed to the outside.
So we'll restart it again without Dale Blaney. These folks are getting quite a show here in Charlotte.
It's here, waiting for you. Inside is unlimited strength and power. It builds confidence and reshapes your body. It can change everything. This is Bowflex, an entire gym in one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance, all in the convenience of your own home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Bowflex is real. The results are real. The question is, are you ready for Bowflex? For a free video and brochure, call or go online at bowflexdirect.com. Do the research, listen to real customers, then place your order online and get started. Bowflex. Who said change isn't easy?
Done for Mark Kinzer. He's not going to come back. but Rob Hart and Kathy Barrows and the whole crew worked on Danny Wood's Avenger over the last few moments. He has returned. And with all of these teams in the garage or the pit area, Stevie Smith has advanced 6th positions just by virtue of staying out there, while others have had to retire. The A-Main is now underway.
Well, just like Danny Wood and those guys, Mark Kinzer's crew, they've still been working all night long, and if we'd have another red here, they could still get back out, so they can't quit working, but I think we got a lap completed here, so their night is done.
Danny Lasoski, who moved from 6th to 2nd by virtue of the other cars retiring. He is the leader. We have cars flipping in turn number 2. Cars flipping, that is the 8H automobile. That has Butch Schrader at the wheel, and he has had an eventful evening involved in that earlier problem here, trying to get the A-Main going for the first time. So Butch Schrader brings out the caution, and no, we are not allowing wingless cars running here with the winged sprinters, but obviously that's all that remained of Butch Schrader's machine.
Well, these guys are trying everything they can to not get this race in tonight. Keep having all these stoppages, and that rain's moving in quick.
It is. The rain is literally just outside the borders of the racetrack right now, as Danny Lasoski and Steve Kinzer's machines are waiting side by side.
There's Jimmy Carr up there. That's Danny Lasoski's crew chief.
Looks like Kilroy hanging on the fence there, huh?
Talking through the driver.
7-time Knoxville Raceway champion Danny Lasoski, where Steve Kinzer alongside of him, as once more they're going to have to restart it here.
Well, this looks like it's what they call the closed red, where the guys cannot work on the cars or put fuel or do anything to them. They think it's going to be a quick cleanup. They keep everybody off the racetrack to get the cleanup quicker. We're going to see it here. That's from Stevie Smith's car right there. Schrader just gets in, hooks a rut, it looks like. Maybe had to get out of the throttle. We heard Paulus talk about that earlier. In a sprint car, anytime you drive into corners that hard, you have to be on the throttle, get the car turned. If you're in the middle of the corner and you lift out of the throttle too quick, that's what happens. It can just catch that right rear and turn you over.
So Butch Schrader with his problems here, as TNN Sports is live at the Lowe's Motor Speedway here at about 20 minutes of 11 Eastern time on this Friday night. Don't forget, folks, our next telecast will be tomorrow from right here at the dirt track at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Hope you can tune in again. That is coming up tomorrow night, the second night. $76,000 on the line here tomorrow for a weekend total of better than $112,000.
That's a lot of money, a big weekend for these guys, and they come with their best equipment anywhere they go, but especially down here, they know it's going to be a tough race and a lot of money on the line.
And the Kinzer crew still working on that 5M Mopar machine. Don't forget, folks, if you're on the World Wide Web, sprintcarnet.com. That's where you've got to log on to. He doesn't want to have to log on. He'd rather be in the race and not have to listen to it. At sprintcarnet.com, those guys will be bringing you some 80 races this year live on the World Wide Web. So do check it out.
You know, our score sheet here shows that we do have a lap in, but Mark Kinzer, the way this night's going, the way the attrition is, if he comes back out, even being a lap down, in sprint car racing, you cannot make up a lap. It's just too, but he can go back out and finish in front of the guys that fall out early in this race. So they're going to go back out and try to gain some valuable points.
They really had him fired up and ready to go, but couldn't quite get the steering.
Yeah, something in the steering box itself was broken. They had to, change the steering. They went to fire it up and realized something else was broke.
Stevie Smith has also gone to the pits during this particular stoppage, and now he's coming back out. We're riding with Stevie again as they push him towards. It's a very unusual entry back onto the racetrack here.
That's real interesting for the drivers, because that's a very tight opening for these guys to have to get through, and if it's a little bit what we call greasy or slimy from the mud, it can make it a challenge just to get out on the racetrack without hitting the wall. We saw Dennis Kohler, one of Mark Kinzer's mechanics, working on the left front, the brake system on the 5M car, so they're still working at it. And again, being a lap down, they can still come out and finish in front of some of the cars that that don't make the race or that don't finish.
Bobby Gerald, you were keeping an eye on Stevie Smith's bunch. What'd they do to that Ingersoll Rand car?
They just wanted to make an adjustment. Stevie Smith told his crew chief, Devin DeLuzio, along with his father, Steve Smith, that they wanted to free up the car a little bit more. So, again, when we talk about freeing up the car, Brad, we're talking about probably adding a little stagger, trying to get that car able to maneuver up on the higher portions of the racetrack to maybe try to drive around somebody. Everybody's so tight out there right now.
Well, it could add air pressure to the right rear, and as we talked earlier, get those spacers in there and move it out. Stevie Smith, they've got a unique wing on that car. The right side panel is actually a lot, it's within the rules, but it's taller than a lot of them, and you can see right there, a lot of them are tapered down, and that one's pretty straight.
Of course, he's finished in the top 10 in points, and now all 11 years he's raced, so whatever he does seems to be working.
Well, that's to help hook the car up. Maybe it's hurting him a little bit tonight, but it should help plant the left rear. A lot of these guys, they want the car to get down on the left rear. It's more comfortable from the driver's seat going in there with it down on the left rear than it is on the right front or on the right rear. It feels like it wants to tip over, throw you right out of the seat if you weren't belted in, if it gets over too far. And it's not a comfortable feeling when it's on the right side.
Don't forget, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be back here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Myself, Brad Doty, Bobby Gerald, Dave Argabright, Lisa Chalenza, Mark Kinzer, he'll be back tonight and tomorrow night. And of course, our legendary historian, Kevin Eckert from Flat Out Magazine. Did I read that the way you wrote it, Kev? Yeah, legendary will work, okay. How about Mark Kinzer?
This is amazing. I mean, they might look at it as bad luck. I mean, they obviously turned over as bad luck, but to be one lap down, I mean, if everything would have gone their way any better, all these stoppages, they would have gotten back out on the same lap. But, at least they got the car back out and they can run some laps and do some testing yet tonight.
And here's Carl Kinzer, who is, of course, the crew chief, Mark's father. That was a big thrash right there. You had a lot of help. What percentage would you say the 5M is right now?
70, kind of just barely able to ride in. I'd say we salvaged a few points out of it, and that's about it. And hopefully don't get involved in anything else.
Exactly, and there could be a lot to happen yet. We can hear him picking up speed. We're about to go racing again, Eli.
And you also saw that lightning flashing right behind Carl's head there, so you know that storm is just off the racetrack.
I thought that was sparks flying out of Carl's head there, him being so fired up and so mad.
Some folks will buy that theory. Green flag, Danny Lasowski with the lead. 1 lap down, 29 to go.
See there a problem with Donnie Schoch?
Schoch had problems right there. Donnie never got going, and there's problems for the Minot missile.
Well, we can see some steam or smoke or something, but it really slowed down coming out of turn 2. Now I don't see any of the steam or smoke.
Tim Schaefer in the Vibrant car going by, that number 11. Oh, and problems for that Stevie Smith car. The Ingersoll Rand team. No caution. Now it's being displayed. It'll be displayed as you see the lights flashing. Lap number 3 here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Isn't it bizarre? I mean, this night has gone by. We saw that earlier this year at one of our stops where everything went quickly, and that night it was until the B main, and then the guys couldn't finish a lap. And now here Kinzer pulls off, and Stevie Smith has a problem again, and we're only 3 laps in. We've been trying to get it in here for the last half hour, 40 minutes ago. Let's watch Stevie Smith's problems.
Oh, it looks like he got together with the car in front of him, went clear up across the racetrack. And
Ron Laney.
Right there, he slaps the wall. I believe that was in turn 3 and 4. Yep, so it's done some damage that looks like the car's down on the right side suspension, like the right rear corner's low on it.
So Stevie Smith with problems here as they turn the lights out on the pace car, and we are closing in on yet another attempt to restart the A main. 3 laps are down, 27 remain. They'll finish it without Mark Kinzer, but he does make a couple of laps. Hillenberg, meanwhile, from 18th now up to 5th on this restart in the Luxair machine.
This is the kind of racetrack Andy Hillenberg likes. I've said it before. Being from Oklahoma, I guess he is a cow. I guess he's done some rodeo riding, and he is. But he likes them when they're rough and choppy like this.
He's in that black number 2. Hillenberg running in 4th spot now, but Lasowski has that lead over Kinzer. That's 0.8 of a second. That's the separation. here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway dirt track. Problems for the number 7, Craig Delansky. Delansky with problems here on the main straightaway as he'll limp his car down towards turn number 1.
That looks like a blown motor, Eli. There's fluids coming out of that thing, and they're throwing the yellow.
Tough break for Delansky. Great story on him. Did you see today in USA Today newspaper? A big piece on the Pennzoil World of Outlaws and Craig Delansky. They talked about how he used to work on an oil rig in Montana and how he used to build homes and stuff in his native Minnesota. Very nice piece on Craig and the Outlaws in USA Today today.
Now, Craig's just a heck of a good race car driver, and just things haven't been going well for him. Just the bad luck this season's really been hitting him hard, and that, like I said, that looked like a blown engine.
You don't see too many of those.
No, these guys, I mean, they run them on the edge, but they do send them back to their builders after only 5 or 6 races to be rebuilt and re-inspected. So they've got 5 or 6 of them in the trailer, so they do keep them inspected pretty regularly and make sure that nothing like this happens.
That's the remnants of the power plant as the oil just pools up there inside turn number 1. Sammy Swindell making a move here, folks. He's gone from 16th to 5th. We told you Hillenberg going from 18th now to 2nd. There's Sammy in the channel lock entry. A lot of guys making some real. This is one of those nights where regardless of where you start, you have a shot at winning the A.
Yep, just staying out of trouble, avoiding all the wrecks and everything that's happening on the racetrack.
Mark Kinzer, he's found himself a little elevated condo to watch the race here.
And Danny Lasowski leading it, running 2nd points. You know that's tearing Mark up, sitting down there watching that.
And all these restarts are just hurting Danny. He'd like to just get this race in and be done with it. Green, and they're underway again. Steve Kinzer trying to stay with him. Problems, everybody flipping in turn number 1. Caution again is on the speedway. That was a flip. Looked like whom?
Boy, that's hard to
Jason Myers. That's Jason Myers right there.
Boy, that was a ground pounder there. That was a hard one, it looked like, from what I looked up and saw, but he seems okay.
Running in the 11th spot on the restart. So Jason Myers brings out yet another. And there you see the Brad Furr machine.
Folks, for any of the people that might be tuning in tonight for the first time to see the World of Outlaws, this isn't a regular night, I can promise you. This is a very unusual night.
This is bizarre. It really is. Let's watch the end of it. There you see the Myers spin. Out of the picture frame, Brad Furr's car comes to a stop.
Oh, there's Brad Furr sitting in the, maybe he spun in front of Myers and started this whole thing. You know, I'm sure the drivers are going to, I talking about how this is a fluke night. I'm sure the drivers are going to all blame it all on the racetrack and say the racetrack's just too hooky and too tight. We're going to, yes, right there in the middle of the screen, Brad Furr. Looks like he spun. Whether they had help or not, I don't know. But you see Jason Myers up there slammed into the wall and started flipping. This is on board with Joey Saldana. He gets through okay.
So we are live here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway dirt track. 6 laps down, 24 to go.
You know, this is great.
Crews out. I talked about it a little while ago. If they think the cleanup can happen very quickly, they won't let the crews out to delay the show, but you can bet all those guys are down there lobbying basically screaming at the officials, you know, we got to get out there and get fuel in these cars and work on these race cars.
Bobby Gerald, if they say come on ahead, you'd better get out of the way in a hurry there, my friend.
Hey, I've got my plan of attack. I'm sliding over here to the side. George Bayless has that green flag in his hand, and he's about to tell the troops, I think, that they can get out here and work on these race cars for the first time tonight during all these red flags. Jimmy Carr, who's the crew chief for Danny Olsowski, is having a little fun down here with Mr. Bayless right now. They're all, and there it is, the green flag flies, and the pit crew are off. Now, this is important, guys, and Brad, I know you'll be able to help us out with this, but you can change a lot of things on these race cars. Everybody's been so tight and so hooked up. You'll look for guys now to try to loosen these cars up and free them up as much as they possibly can during these red flags. These are changes that can be made during this little break.
They can change anything they want on these cars except for the tires. If they change a tire, they have to go to the tail. Anything else they can, now they can pull the tire off and change those spacers, the spacers we talked about, and a bunch of them will probably be doing that, but they have to make sure that the officials watch when they pull a tire off that they don't do more than just change the spacer.
Now, Brad, let me ask you a question here, and I hate to have to bring it up, but the question's going to be how much rain can this racetrack take? And the reason I say that is because the last flash of lightning was directly overhead, and I see fans beginning to scurry from the grandstand as the rain, you see it there up against the Musco lights. You can see the start of rain. How much water can this racetrack take now?
Not much, I don't think. The way it's opened up, it's, as I said earlier, chunking out, it's rolled up. If it gets much at all, it'll take a little while to get it worked in, and you know, that's the last thing we needed was some more water on this racetrack.
Well, this is one of those situations where we've been trying to run the A main for darn near 45 or 50 minutes, it seems. We have gotten 6 laps in, and we are live. As many of you know, these shows kind of take their time unfolding, and we are live here. And Lisa, I wonder how long these fans are going to hang in. They're great fans, but with rain coming, rain here.
I know, Eli. They're hanging tough, but a lot of people are leaving, and I think it's more the lightning that's, you know, scaring them. We're sitting on metal stands, so that may be a factor, but it's just coming down a little bit. I don't think people are throwing in the towel yet. How long are you guys going to stay? I mean, it's starting to rain.
We are staying till it's over.
You're staying till they call the race or it's over, whichever comes first.
Danny wins the race.
These ladies here are diehard race fans. Who are you rooting for?
Steve Kinzer.
Yes, and he's doing really well, and it'd just be too bad for them to call the race when he's, what, in second place. And who are you rooting for?
Tony's man, Danny the Dude. Yeah.
They're diehards out here. I don't think we can make them leave. Now, who are you rooting for?
Andy Hillenberg.
Very good, and she's got her rain gear on, so I think she's ready. I don't think you can make her leave.
They've got first, second, and third place covered. Oh, by the way, Lisa, have I told you how happy I am that Brad and I don't have to sit up here with an antenna extending in the air like that with the lightning flashing around?
You're lucky up there, Eli. I think I'm going to come up there with you guys any minute.
I believe it's time for you to take cover. That's Lisa Chillens joining us on our telecast again this week here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. So now you see the problem we're dealing with. The rain intensifies, and you believe, I mean, they've had droughts here in this part of the middle Atlantic states. And like last week in Williams Grove, we bring rainwater along with us, I guess.
Same thing. It was 22 days, I think, since Pennsylvania had rain. It was 20-some here. And who'd have thought 2 weeks in a row we'd get everything in but the A main on our telecast.
Of course, if there is a good thing, is that we run here again tomorrow. As you know, we're on the air tomorrow night again at 9 o'clock Eastern. So should there be a weather problem tonight, you wonder if they'll decide to go double features here tomorrow as a little bonus for the TNN viewers and the folks who will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, they might try to finish these, we have 6 laps in. So
it's coming down heavily now, as you see, folks. This is not good.
If they do, what they'll probably do is line this race up and run it, and then rework the track and start qualifying and all that all over again for tomorrow night's show.
And you can see against those lights in the background quite how heavy the rain is coming in now, and they're just pushing these guys off, and they're going ahead to the pit area. How much can, under ideal circumstances, Brad, if it's a perfect racetrack, how long how comfortable can these drivers be? Because a lot of folks follow other forms of racing where you have slick tires, and certainly on a slick tire you cannot run any water. How much water can you run in with a grooved tire such as these?
Really, almost none like asphalt. I mean, it can be a real light sprinkle as long as the cars are up to speed and they're out there racing and basically keeping that moisture thrown off. A light sprinkle, but this is not a light sprinkle, and if it would stop right now, it would take quite a while to run the track in. They'd have to get all the push trucks and things back out there to, as you see them, look how slick it is. There's Sammy just trying to get out the pit gate.
Yeah.
It's again, if it would stop right now, though, it would, you know, take quite a while to run it in.
And we are told that this is not going to be a short-term rain, unfortunately, but we'll find out about how much more racing we have here in just a short while. But this has already been a strange A-main. I mean, if you're just joining us, here's what you have missed already. We're only 6 laps into the A-main. Just take a look at what you've missed.
That was on the very first lap, initial start.
Billy Wilburn, Danny Woods, and others go flipping and flopping away. That was Dale Blaney taking our camera for a wild ride.
That's Schrader down in turn 1.
Butch becomes a wingless sprinter, and there you have Stevie Smith with his problems. Everybody
Jimmy
else
Carr,
flipping around him, and finally they say, all right, you guys, we're out of fuel, go out there and fill them up.
And there it is, the green flag flies.
You hear Bobby Gerald making the call that the green opened up the caution, but then the rains came. Donnie Schatz, the little agricultural racing there, and he gets bogged down in the mud.
Well, see, these cars have with this stagger on, when it gets slimy like this, it's almost impossible to keep them from turning left. They just keep turning left, and that looks like Schatz was trying to get off the racetrack on the back straightaway, and with that stagger, it just pulled the car right down into the infield.
So we're going to break away for a moment. When we come back, we'll be updating you on the conditions here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, where rain continues to fall.
Deck and patio owners, have you ever been frustrated by the weather on your deck or patio? Struggling with the blazing hot midday sun or those unpredictable summer showers?
At last, there's a solution that lets you outsmart the weather. It's the easy-to-use and affordable Sunsetter retractable awning. And right now, you can get the whole Sunsetter story in this free catalog and video. Inside, you'll discover how the easy-to-use Sunsetter can help you enjoy your deck or patio more, rain or shine. In fact, it's like adding a whole extra outdoor room to your home. The easy-to-use Sunsetter is simple to operate, opening almost effortlessly in less than 30 seconds to create an instant outdoor shelter when sudden showers strike and a comfortable shaded retreat on those hot, sunny days. In fact, with Sunsetter, you'll stay up to 30 degrees cooler even on the hottest summer days. Plus, our easy-to-add accessories turn Sunsetter into a complete outdoor living room, perfect for insect-free enjoyment and entertaining all day, and right into those balmy summer nights, all for thousands less than adding a costly addition to your home. Plus, we'll even take you inside to show you why our remarkable 7-layer awning fabric is so incredibly durable and completely waterproof. And because we manufacture Sunsetter ourselves and sell direct to you, we're able to offer incredible factory direct prices that save you hundreds of dollars. So stop struggling with the weather. Start enjoying your deck or patio more than ever before with the easy-to-use and affordable Sunsetter retractable awning. Call for your free video and catalog today.
Call toll-free 1-800-743-4900 to receive your free video and catalog on the Sunsetter retractable awning, including details on a special savings offer on now, plus our 90-day no-risk home trial. Call now 1-800-743-4900.
Promotional consideration has been provided for this special offer from Diamond P. If you like gritty, in-your-face excitement, then you've got to have Sling and Dirt, the newest World of Outlaws action-packed home video. Call 1-800-428-6993 to get wheel-to-wheel action and the best tumbles, stumbles, and crashes. Dirt's flying as the Wing Warriors push it to the limit and beyond. Call 1-800-428-6993 to own Sling and Dirt for only $14.95. There's never been so much outlaw action, so call and order your copy now. That's Sling and Dirt. Call now or order online at DiamondPsports.com, your interactive pit pass.
TNN Sports coverage of the Chip Thunder Outlaw Showdown presented by Lance Snacks is being brought to you by Mopar. Parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. Well, guess what? Mother Nature has just taken the lead in the point standings. She's won the last two A-mains. Williams Grove and now Charlotte. Andy Hillenberg having sought sanctuary, and he's washing down the transporter. As you can well tell that the remainder of this evening has been washed out. The Kinzers, everybody will be back here tomorrow, and we will also. There are going to be double features run here tomorrow, so we certainly hope you can make your plans to tune in right here on TNN Sports. They'll have hot laps tomorrow, qualifying, features, and all the full activities. Now it's time to recognize tonight's cool move of the race, presented by Luxair, the official heating and air conditioning supplier of the Outlaws. Recognizing the coolest driving performance during the hottest part of the race, Luxair setting the performance standard. There is Andy Hillenberg in the Luxair car, making a nice move, threading his way through race traffic to take home the Luxair Cool Move of the Race Award. Back to Charlotte right after this. Last night in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Outlaws evening